So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing how a transit affects you. Okay, and this is especially for people who know astrology, who know the houses, who know the planets, the nakshatras. At least you need to know these three things, because if you're just logging on to this video, this may sound like an alien language to you. Okay. But what I will show you in this particular video, you will literally see those effects happening even right now. Okay, so we're gonna take Ketu for this year, even next year, because it's in the sign of Leo. Okay, so the way you would first, and then the very first thing that you need to understand is when Ketu is in Leo. Okay, and then you have to see is Ketu is in Dharma houses, Artha houses, Kama houses, Moksha houses. Okay, Dharma houses is for first, fifth, and ninth. Artha is second, sixth, and 10th. Kama is third, seventh, and 11th. Moksha is fourth, eighth, and 12th. Ketu is gonna play a different role. It's like a actor in one movie doing one role, then goes to a different movie. So one movie they're a bad guy, the other movie they're a comedian, then another movie they are playing the role of the prime minister, then another movie they're playing the role of a detective. This is how a planetary transit overall works. It just doesn't work that because Ketu's in the first in Leo and you hear something about it, is doing the exact same thing in the second house or the fourth house. Okay, so first let's understand the dynamics of these four particular areas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, so let's say when a person is a Leo ascendant, Sagittarius ascendant, or an Aries ascendant, Ketu is going to be in your trine houses. Trine is the Dharma. Now, what is the Dharma? Okay. Dharma, one of the best examples I'll give you is from actually my good astrologer friend, Neeraj Verma. He gave a best analogy. Is that Ketu, like Dharma, is like the electron and proton circling around the nucleus. And you can say that no, this is wrong, this is right, nucleus shouldn't be going around or the electron shouldn't be going around the nucleus, or nucleus should be going around the proton. That's what is happening. But you can argue whatever you want. But whatever that truth is, that truth exists outside of your opinion. It doesn't care about your opinion. So Dharma is truth. That's what the number one thing Dharma is. It is the absolute truth. That whether you like it or not, whether you can make up any kind of science and biology that can feed your brain and you can feel liberated from it, perfect. Go spend your life doing it. But that truth is going to be doing exactly what it's supposed to. Okay? So when Ketu is in the Dharma houses, it's asking for honesty from the individual, not from anybody. It wants honesty from that individual. It wants that individual to really stop feeding themselves the trash to keep themselves in a confirmation bias state. Everybody has confirmation bias, whether it's their favorite movie, whether it's their political party, whether it's the type of person that they need to be with and not need to be with. Everybody has confirmation bias. So now what Ketu is going to do in the Dharma houses, it is saying, I am going to force you to see the truth. This whole time you have been thinking, oh, I am a very good husband, I'm a very good wife, I do all of this, and yet still I get this. And then Ketu shows you the truth. With the circumstances in Leo, it will show you the truth that no, this is what's happening, and you will realize it, that yeah, it is my fault as well, but I'm not going to say it. And neither I'm not going to admit it. When this happens, that's when Ketu's lessons become active. That's when the Pandora box of Ketu becomes active. When it says that I'm showing you the truth, you may be thinking you're doing great for your spouse, but it's not. That's the truth of the Dharma houses. So first, it shows you your faults. Okay? So Ketu began to show the faults that need to be corrected. Because even from a basic human being to a yogi, every single person is making mistakes at their own level. And Ketu comes to correct that. In the 5th house, Ketu will show your illusion and delusions of your intelligence. Ketu will say, so you're so smart. You're going out there telling people how you graduated from here. You know this, you know that. And you know internally, you only know 10% of it. And so Ketu here in the 5th house shows you the truth. It puts you to test in your learning, in your intelligence, where a person gets their ego shattered. Because 5th house is that intelligence, that subconscious that's working. We take 3rd house for subconscious, but guess what's 3rd from the 3rd? Bhavat Bhavam of the 3rd house. It's the 5th house. That's where your real subconscious is. That's where your intelligence works through that particular house. And it's going to bring in error correcting events where, especially because it's in Leo, it is going to show that you're going to correct your intellectual errors by shattering your ego, by you being embarrassed because you were thinking that you knew and you didn't. For example, many people are graduating with a certificate of MBA. Okay, many people. And out of that, only 1% know exactly what needs to be done for a business. Rest are learning and copying and using ChatGPT to finish their paperwork, finish this thing. Okay, I need a certificate. So here Ketu gives you that check. When it comes to the highest of the Dharma houses, the 9th house, here Ketu is going to show you the truth of where you've been coming from. Ketu is going to show you, okay, the value of your pitris, the value of respecting the ancestors. So when Ketu goes into the 9th, it becomes utterly important for a person to pay homage to their ancestors, because otherwise then a person will feel like, well, I'm looking around the internet and Ketu in the 9th house is bad for luck. It stops the luck. It's not stopping the luck. It is actually showing you the errors that you're making with your own lineage. Ketu in the 9th house will bring you across such things through algorithms where you will feel like, I hate this culture and I hate this religion. Because remember, Ketu is elitism. If you read the story of Matsya Avatar, only a handful of people were selected to live. Rest were wiped out. So Ketu in the 9th house brings in situation where you will show the elitism, where you'll favor the elitism. And at the same time, Ketu will show to certain group of people how you have been mistreating the lineage. I don't care what religion, what sect you come from of the world. Everybody has pitris, your ancestors. And Ketu wants you to remember them. Ketu wants you to seek the truth of who you are, where you've been coming from. And this also in this life takes you to where you started from and where you are now. You went from no money to being a multi-millionaire. Yet your arrogance is affecting that ninth house. Now, many will not be like this. Some could be extremely humble, some could be that. But one thing Ketu wants in the ninth house is respect for the lineage. Show your bow to the lineage, because wherever Ketu is headless. All right? You have to become headless. You have to be losing your ego and be like, I'm at the feet of Vishnu. And this is where the truth, that real truth, is going to be manifested for the fire ascendants. This is why I'm just using the word trine. There's more to this. We'll come to it. Now, let's look at the Artha houses. The Artha houses would be when Ketu is in the 2nd, 6th, and 10th house. So when it comes to Artha houses are the one that puts you to work. That's the very first and foremost thing. Because 2nd house is saying you have to earn for your family. 6th house is saying you have to work for the unprivileged. You have to be at the service of people who need you. 10th house is saying you have to work for betterment of society. Of course, 99% of us don't follow that. We are looking for betterment of ourselves. But here Ketu, when it's in the Artha houses, is trying to show you the truth. What truth there is when it comes to your ability to make money. It's saying that let go of your fantasies. Like, for example, sometimes it's serious. You guys might think of it as a joke. I get actually serious readings of someone just wanting to know. I just want to know one thing: if I'm going to be a billionaire. And what remedy can I do to become that? That's all that I want to know. And they're basic software engineer. They've been working. And yet their aim is so far out. That too unrealistically. No plans. It's not like they're creating some new type of an AI robot that can compete with Tesla, that can compete with Microsoft. They just have this view that, no, $1 billion. Let's go to an astrologer and ask them. Ketu shatters those value system. Is saying, what are you doing? You're going towards that mirage, and I am here trying to show you the truth. And the truth might be okay. They can end up being worth $25 million. But no, that's that $1 billion aim. And especially when Ketu is in the 2nd house, one thing it really wants you to do is chant mantras. It does not want you to focus on just wanting to accumulate things. It wants you to give things to the family. Ketu in the 2nd house will say, this is now the time that now the things that you have worked for, that you thought are yours, you're going to be sharing that with your family. Because your truth is your family. And those who are single, Ketu is going to simply say, this is the time that you're going to have to learn to give. Because you might think 12th house is the house of donations and moksha and expenses. But guess what? The Lord, the steward of the 12th house, Ketu, is now going to be in the 2nd house, or is going to be in your 6th house or the 10th house. So 2nd house person must focus on giving what they're earning to anything, especially their family. You have to put your family's needs before you, because that's the truth of living in this particular life. That's the truth it's showing. In the 6th house, Ketu is transiting your 6th house, right? Your Pisces ascendant. You must, regardless of your career, you must give some service without ever asking anything in return. I'm not saying you work for free. That's illogical. But whatever service you give, you must give some of that service at no cost to people. Because Ketu is saying give. You must help out somebody in trouble. Perfect example, you're a lawyer. Your focus is that billing hours. But if you want your the coming future to give you more billing hours, you must listen to the steward of the 12th house, which is Ketu, saying you need to give. Now the people that are going to come to you, you will see people in the 6th house, Ketu transiting. If you're a lawyer, you will see, you will get many calls. People said, I have this thing, but I can't afford it. But I really like the fact that you have won all these cases. Please help me out. You can't go like, click. That's when Ketu will become active. And it's going to be the Matsya side of Ketu. So if, let's say, you are doing 10 cases in a month, at minimum, take at least a half an hour call or an hour call from the person who can afford the entire case. Tell them, this is what's happening. Do you have a case? Do you not have a case? This is what is happening. You can do this. Okay, you will win this case. They're just trying to put fear in you. All you have to do, if you just get a public defender and you can do this, this, and this, you'll be fine. You have to give something, some service. So, especially regardless of what type of a business you have, you do some service which you do not expect. Now, if that person who you helped had no money, a year later, they had a really great job and they said, because of your call, I was able to save my home. Here, I'm going to give you $1,000. Even though I cannot afford that whole thing, here's $1,000. And those type of work that you do with this transiting Ketu, again, it's setting up the future, which is Rahu. They're both recording things, but they're both behaving differently. It's the same entity. One is on the other side of Earth, the other is on the other side of the Earth. But they're both connecting with each other, recording things. Like, and especially, let's say Ketu goes in the 10th house. Whatever job you have, whatever work you do it like it's your dream job. And I know many will not listen to this. And this is the most, more valuable than a canary diamond advice. You hate your job. Yes, I get it. You're not getting paid well. Yes, I get it. But when you go to the job like you are working at that dream company in that dream office. And you give yourself selflessly. Even if you're getting paid this much, you're saying, hey, how can I help you? What else can I do? Ketu in the 10th house wants you to do something. Because remember, 10th house is the highest house, the highest Artha house. It wants you to do something selflessly for society in general. That's what, like, for example, if you look at the creator of Jagannath Hora, PVR Narasimha Rao, he didn't go towards the 6th house, just helping out one individual, two individual. He went towards the entire society, gave a free astrological software for anybody and everybody to use. That's the dynamics of that Ketu in the 10th house. And especially because the Artha houses are active with Ketu. This is the time that a person must work towards their spiritual growth. Dharma was just a lesson. See, people think Dharma house is the houses of spirituality. Spirituality just doesn't come in and like a chip in your head and now you're spiritual. You got to work towards it. So when Ketu's in the Artha, this is the best 18 months to get the highest and the fastest progression in your spiritual growth. That's your Artha, the work. Otherwise, when Ketu goes into your Dharma house again, you'll be like, well, I haven't progressed in spirituality. Ketu's in transiting my ascendant now. What's going on? I have no interest. Why? Because you didn't do the Artha. When Ketu said, work, I am the steward of that moksha. And here I'm in the Artha houses. I'm giving you a chance. If you work, you will see rapid growth. Then if you look at Ketu in the Kama houses, 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house. So if you have Leo in the 3rd house, 7th house, or the 11th house will be known as Kama houses. So now, you may be thinking, well, Ketu is in the Kama houses, I have to let go of my desires in order for me to do really well in this particular next 18 months. No, that's not what Ketu says in the Kama houses. So many successful people chart that even I do readings for, Ketu is naturally in Kama houses. And they're very successful. What Ketu says in the Kama houses, do not move forward with your desires alone. You must create a team. You must seek other people to help you in your pursuit of your desires. Why? Because Kama house is connected with team. What is 3rd house? 3rd house is siblings. Whether it's 2 siblings, 3 siblings, 6 siblings. It's a team. 3rd house is a house of co-workers. Co-workers are what? It could be 100 co-workers, it could be 20 co-workers. In the 3rd house, it says, work with others. Let go of that ego that I have to stand out in the crowd. No, the only way you're going to stand out in the crowd with Ketu is in the 3rd or the 7th or the 11th is when you push the team forward. And he said this, like for example, if you look at in any team sport, the real leader doesn't just go out there and scores the most points. In practice, they're making sure that my teammate knows how important it is for us to do this practice and this drill, because the team that we're going to play against does this exact same thing and we have to beat them at their game. The real, especially if you were in the heydays of the 90s basketball, when Chicago Bulls won all the games, and when this ceremony was there for, giving them the trophy, I always noticed Michael Jordan was standing somewhere in the backside, and then Amar Rashad or someone else is calling Michael up in front. He said, "Is push the team forward. I'm good because the leader already knows that I'm a leader. I did this. Let me stand in the back." 7th house. Why is it a team? It's your spouse. It becomes a team. 11th house is a large organization itself. 11th house is social circles. They are a bunch of people. So anything which is requiring the team is this Kama. He says, you want to achieve your goals? Yes. Because remember, Ketu's heights. I will take you to heights. But work selflessly with other people to achieve your goals. Don't think that I want to attain the entire pie and I do not want to share that pie with others. When you do that, now you have already put in effect of that next Ketu transit, which will be in your 2nd house. So one either needs to work with others, learn from others. See, we look at 5th house as the house of learning. We look at 4th house as the house of learning. Kama houses is what activates learning. Why? Until you have a desire to learn something passionately, how are you going to do it? Because the 4th and 5th house education is your mother or father slapping you, hitting you, and making sure you do your homework, even when you didn't want to. 4th and 5th house education is that education, okay, memorizing this learning. Okay, tomorrow's a test, and you're memorizing 6 a.m. in the morning the same thing, and you're writing it time. It doesn't matter what it means, what it is. I just need to know the answers. That's the 4th and 5th house. The 3rd house, which is the house of Parakram, right, is the house of your valor. The very first house that says it's time for you to start standing up on your own feet. From baby steps to walking to crawling to running. So until that desire is there, that I need to learn this, and I'm going to learn it without my ego, that's where this Ketu works. Without ego, you're learning from somebody. Or you're gathering up a team to help them, and through them, you get helped. Ketu in the 7th, it says supporting of the spouse is the most important. Rahu is in the head right now. Right? If Ketu is transiting the 7th. But Ketu is saying bow in front of the spouse. Whatever their needs are, you fulfill that needs, and I will fulfill the desire of what you have. These are practical, real world things that we miss or we do. And then when we're not getting some desired results, we're thinking, what went wrong? What did I do wrong that I didn't get this desired result? Because whatever the Ketu transit is, it's not the Ketu transit right now. It's trying to set up the next step for you in its next house. And you will not find that how these transits work, of especially Rahu and Ketu. Where the steward is now judging from there, and then it's moving backwards to the other house. In the 11th house, which is naturally the house of fulfillment of desires, which is house of gains, Ketu will frustrate you in terms of fulfilling your desire, getting your gains, if you don't ask for support. Because 11th house is a house of support as well. Someone who's supported. And when Ketu transits the 11th, a person naturally feels, I'm not going to be supported. Ketu actually takes away your social circles. Ketu is like a vacuum. Anything which is not needed on the carpet or the floor, it takes them out. Why is it taking you out? And you're sad about it. Because it's leaving, because once that entire, like out of the, let's say, 50 eggs, okay, 45 are taken away and 5 eggs are left. It's trying to tell you, these are the 5 eggs, focus on them. So when it's taking out those things, it's not taking them out because of some karma and all that. It's trying to show you the truth. Out of all the social circles you knew, that you thought they can help you, no, they're out. Maybe you might be left with 0. Maybe you might be left with 1. But it's trying to show this is a clean slate. So now if it's a clean slate, everybody is gone. Nobody's there to support you. But that's when you look, because now the arena is clean. Whoever wasn't supposed to be looked at is gone. There's nothing, it's empty. Now you go and look for somebody to fill that arena. And they will come and they will be there selflessly to support you. That's the Kama of the Ketu. Then if you look at the Moksha houses, 12th, 4th, and 8th house. So Ketu, if your Leo sign is in the 12th house, 4th house, 8th house, what dynamic is going to play? So when it comes to the Moksha houses, well, first of all, Moksha houses, what? These are not the house of like death as people think, because Moksha can be only attained through death and liberation. No. Think about what is the purpose of Moksha? The purpose of Moksha is to give you the highest of happiness. Think about it. It's not some spiritual penance. It's not like wearing your ochre colored clothes and going into the mountains of Himalayas. It's saying these are the house of happiness, and the steward of these houses, of the Moksha houses, which is Ketu, is in the 4th house, is in the 8th house, is in the 12th house. Such people don't even have to do anything. Ketu will do its job. Ketu is going to show you, regardless of your status, money-wise, caste-wise, or race-wise, it will not care. Ketu is actually going to take your Ketu is going to show you complete disinterest in the things that you think are making you happy and things that are going to make you happy. You will see when Ketu is transiting the moksha houses, most people are naturally starting to realize, because Ketu is in its most, it's like the steward is in the palace that has been given by Jupiter or given by some other planet. The steward is there now. They say, I don't need to go out here, preach. I'm here. That means if I'm here, I'm taking care of this stuff. That means the people that I'm taking care of, they already know who I am. So what Ketu will do, Ketu cleans out that mental garbage that you think you need for happiness and shows you what happiness is. The best example would be somebody's trying to chase their dream car. Ketu in the 4th house. What Ketu will do when this person within the next 18 months goes on to some place of height, driving, you will see how this Ketu will do, how this Ketu will work. When they go to some place of height, suddenly some realization will activate. They'll probably stop their car, look at the entire scene. And what they will feel during that time suddenly evaporates that desire that, oh, this is what was the achievement of mine that would bring me that peace and comfort and will transform my life, will help me grow. Ketu automatically, this is probably one of the easiest transition of Ketu where the work is actually going to be done. You don't need to do anything. Even if you don't listen to this video, you won't have to do anything. It is naturally just going to bring a change. Because this is the axis, especially 410, is all connected with Moksha and Artha. All of them are connected with Moksha and Artha. Remember, if Ketu is in Moksha, Rahu is in Artha. Your Artha is going to become Moksha. Your Moksha, your realization that Ketu will bring, helps you accelerate in your work, brings you transformation, increases your investments. Okay? Because like Ketu is in the 12th, right? Ketu is in the 8th. Ketu in the 8th is simply showing that in this particular transit, I'm going to bring a major transformation in your life. And this transformation is going to be the type of transformation that you will not be able to live without once I move backwards to the house of Kama. Because my moksha will become your Kama. This was exactly the position of Ketu when it transited my 8th house. I discovered Autobiography of a Yogi. And after that, everything was just, the slate was wiped clean. Because a transformation has to come in. And it automatically came in. It's not like I was like desperate for guru and spirituality. No, I was this young YouTuber that people made fun of back in the day. Now I get readings of parents who are asking me, can my children be YouTubers? It's literally, I'm surprised that people are like looking at it as a legitimate career. But you see how times change. But I wasn't into all that, but accidentally in Sedona, I discovered Autobiography of a Yogi. That was the change. So Ketu does it automatically. I've seen that it does it automatically. When Ketu entered my 4th, automatically I got initiated into Kriya Yoga. I was looking for almost, I would say, 38 months, if not more. But then when I gave up, I'm like, okay, I'm not finding anybody. I don't think I'm meant to it. I'm just going to do my work. I'll just listen to my Autobiography of a Yogi. I'll just do my basic meditation. And then suddenly he just gave it. 12th house. House of foreign journeys. House of expenses. House of donations. House of investments. So now think about it. Think like a scientist. Ketu's significance is that he's a stewardship of the 12th. Ketu is headless. It no longer has the need to look in the mirror and wanting to fix its hair, wanting to look great, wanting to put the face moisture. No. Ketu says, whatever I'm taking, I don't even know. Whatever I'm giving, I don't even care. So with Ketu in the 12th, if you do not begin to give things, it will force you to give things. Just like the second house Ketu. If you do not give to others, so like for example, especially this is the best time period for people to invest long term. Although I'm not a financial advisor, but Ketu says 12th house is the house of investments. And who is exalted in the 12th house? Venus. And Venus is connected with Lakshmi. So Lakshmi says, I want the money to be revolving in the economy. If you keep holding, I have to take it away. I have to bring in expenses where I have to take away that part of percentage. But when you put it in an investment, now that money is out there and it's working and it's revolving, it's going up, it's going down, the stocks that you're getting, somebody else is selling, somebody else is buying. But again, long term, Ketu is long. It's not Mercury. It's not Moon. Where you're doing like Forex trading from the morning to evening. Or you're doing crypto 24/7. No. Ketu's like your eyes are closed, you give it. Let Lakshmi handle it, how much it wants to bring you back. So this is the time period for especially Virgo ascendant people to go out there and have the Lakshmi be revolved. If you're a stingy person, spend some money on your own. See, Ketu's not like becoming a monk. Ketu's saying that I am about giving. And here you are hoarding. You rather have your kids, you have $1 million in the bank, you are having your kids buy the cheapest clothes and all of that. What's the point of having all this money? So this is the time when a person who has Ketu in the 12th, go and spend money. Get something nice for your children, for your spouse, for yourself. Invest that money. Give money in donations. When you do that, okay, well, I'm ready to give you what you need. Because now you're at my elite status. Remember, Matsya Avatar. You have to get at the elite status of Ketu. This is why do you think so many wealthy people give big donations? I don't want to hear about the tax write-offs and all that. But there's something they saw that, whoa, I'm giving and I'm getting more in return. Okay. So outside of those tax write-off, they naturally then start giving more. They understood this thing. They understand this thing. Now, let's talk about the dynamics. How to really understand this Ketu. How Ketu transit actually becomes active. So now, the way you will understand this Ketu transit, if you really want to go into like depth and detail, pay attention to 2 planets. Pay attention to Sun till July. After July, pay attention to Venus where it's transiting. Wherever Venus is transiting, those houses will be becoming the most important. Like especially if you see it now, you will see that they are blossoming far more than when they were transiting the same house last year. For example, right now Venus is centered Aries, right? And it's in the nakshatra of Ketu. So you can look at both ways. When a planet enters the nakshatra of Ketu, triggers Ketu. Or because Ketu is in the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni ruled by Sun. And nakshatra of Purva Falguni ruled by Venus. Wherever they transit, that's the result that Ketu will give. So Venus is in the ascendant, you will see. This Ketu is going to trigger your diet change. First, it can bring some kind of a health issue, and after the health issue, it will Focus on you to change your diet. Why? Because fifth house is the gut. Fifth house is your esophagus. What are you taking in from the second house? Because Venus is in a nakshatra of Ketu. And then Sun. The major thing is Sun, because Ketu is in the nakshatra of the Sun. And Uttara Falguni nakshatra, which is bringing things together. Sun in the second house shows many Aries ascendant people will be going towards family reunion, meeting their families, meeting the Pitris, meaning the older people. Somehow they'll get connected with the older people, especially from, I would say, literally between now and the next 2 weeks, while Sun is in Taurus. Family dynamics will become the most important. Banking will become the most important. Any issues connected with your inheritance, father, they will now play out. Now is the time they're going to play out. June, Sun is going to be in the third house. Here you will see the dynamics connected with the siblings, social media, your efforts, communication, your communication devices. All of those things will have a much greater effect than when last year Sun entered the third house. But every year you will see, like for example, Sun could be triggered, or Saturn could be triggered, Jupiter could be triggered. The reason why we're focusing on Ketu here, triggering these planets and making it important, is because Ketu is the one that actually is correcting our karmas. So you will see when Sun enters the third house, it will make you correct your karmas, connected to communication. How do you communicate with your siblings? What efforts are you putting? If you put this much effort, you're going to get this much result. You put this much effort, Ketu is going to give this much result, because remember, Sun is the one that is triggering Ketu. And especially how the ego will be hurt. Sun in the second house right now can hurt your ego through family. You will, if you show arrogance in front of the family, Ketu will cut that, because Ketu is active because of the Sun. Third house will cut your ego through your social media interactions. Showing arrogance on social media, it'll cut that. And then for some time, it's also going to be for 2 weeks in the fourth house, where especially dealing with the mother, dealing with your own home, okay, will become extremely significant. Like such a person, especially when Sun enters the fourth house, you will see they will either buy new furniture, change new furniture. There will be many talks connected with your father lineage with the mother. But also if their Sun is going to hit, let's say your birth Ketu who's in the fourth house or Mars, then it can trigger, like it will be easily triggering fights with the mother. And especially those will be either connected to the lineage or your children, if you have children. So we have to see, is the person single? Is the person married? Do they have children? What age they're at? Because again, you can't give these type of predictions to somebody who's 9-year-old or 15-year-old. But we're really looking at a dynamic of people who are between 20 and 60, 20 and 50 maybe. Okay, or 20 and 70, just anything above that adult age. This is where you will see, and especially actually I would say 28th year, because only 28th year onwards you really start to see and notice the effects of the nakshatras in your life. So especially when an Aries ascendant wants success in their career, let Venus enter the 10th house. And I don't know, actually, I don't think it's going to enter the 10th house this year. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. I don't know, I haven't checked yet. But till next April, May, June, I think it's going to be in Purva Falguni Nakshatra. So whenever Venus enters the 10th, whether it's this year or next year, you watch. This is when the Aries ascendant finds that new opportunity and success. Why new opportunity? Because Ketu is in the 8th from the 10th house. Rejuvenation, reincarnation of your profession. Okay, so especially when we are looking at the correction of the karma, correction of things, these are the houses, like Ketu will correct everything, but it'll go one by one each house. Okay, so this is how you want to understand this dynamic. But again, I can't do this for all 12 ascendants and for Jupiter and Venus both. It'll just be too long of a video. But I want you to understand how these things play out on a very subtle level. Okay, so this was my analysis of the Ketu. And again, if you need consultation, you can go to kerasastrology.com under shop section. Otherwise, I put a video on some personal lessons on my Keras vlogs. Leo lessons going to be coming next week. The blank chart predictions for that. Okay, so we'll see you later. Bye-bye.